Yes, we had a very good, productive session with real concrete outcomes, and it was a real strengthening of the relationship, and that's in the national interest because, of course, there are huge opportunities here in China. It's the second biggest economy in the world, and that's why we've got such a big business delegation. A lot of the discussion was about how we open up access for those opportunities, focusing, as I always do, on how is this going to be delivered back in the United Kingdom, how does it benefit people back at home. And we made some really good progress on tariffs for whisky, on visa-free travel to China, and on information exchange and cooperation on irregular migration, focusing particularly on small boats and engine parts. So a very good constructive meeting with real outcomes, and that's very much in our national interest. Well, we've agreed that on tariffs for whisky, we're looking at how they're to be reduced, what the time frame is, visa-free travel, how far, how much, and when that can start, and on the information exchange on small boats, the cooperation that we need, within a dialogue actually about greater strategic focus on security and defence. But for us it's very important on small boats that we get our arms around the engines that are being used in those small boats. So on all those three areas, but they're examples of a much wider opening of access for business that we discussed at great length in terms of the fact that after 8 years, this is the first visit by our Prime Minister, and we wanted to make sure that we've got that strategic approach on all of these issues. Well, we did have a good meeting, and a long meeting as well. We had the formal parts, we had some informal parts, and then we continued over lunch. And so the relationship is in a good place, a strong place. And what I'd say to everybody here is that I always act in our national interest. And therefore the question for me is, how does this accelerate and deliver back at home? I know that whatever's going on in the world, the most important thing to the vast majority of people is the cost of living. So opening up access to business, opportunities, seizing those opportunities, which then gets reflected in better businesses, in jobs, in price reductions at home, really, really matter. And so we made real progress on all of those areas. Well, we raised those issues as you would expect. Part of the rationale for engagement is to make sure that we can both seize the opportunities that are available, which is what we've done, but also have a mature discussion about issues that we disagree on. Yes, we did have a respectful discussion about that, raised those issues, as you would expect, but that, if you like, is part and parcel of the reason to engage. It is in our national interest, it gives us great opportunities, but it also gives us the opportunity to have those discussions about areas where we disagree. Well, the big issue, the big challenge here is to ensure that Iran doesn't get a nuclear program, and we're all absolutely agreed on that, and we're working with allies to that end, and that is the central focus of what I'm doing with our allies.
President Trump's actions the right ones?
Well, we all agree that ensuring that Iran doesn't get that nuclear program is the number one priority, and that's what we're working on. As you have said, this is the first visit by a UK Prime Minister. To my mind, that's been far too long, and I'm very pleased that I have a very strong delegation with me. All my top advisors, top ministers.
The first visit by the British Prime Minister after 8 years. Mr. Prime Minister, your visit this time has drawn...
China is a vital player on the global stage, and it's vital that we build a more sophisticated relationship, where we can identify opportunities to collaborate, but of course also allow a meaningful dialogue on areas where we disagree. I've long been clear that the UK and China need a long-term, consistent and comprehensive strategic partnership. And that's what we discussed when we met in Rio in the G20. We are G20 economies with fellow members of the United Nations Security Council, and our trading relationships support hundreds of thousands of jobs in each other's countries and have gone on for a very, very long history. I think that working together on issues like climate change, global stability, during challenging times in the world is precisely what we should be doing as we build this relationship in the way that I've described. So thank you again.
前些年，中英关系曾经有波折，这也不符合两国的利益。当前国际形势变得较直。
外宾一直在赶我们。
Looking this way.
Named Supreme Harmony. Why? Because
It's named.
look at there's a mark. It's a break.
Oh yeah.
It's a
Marble.
Yeah, marble. Yeah. It's a central line of the Forbidden City.
Right.
Also called central access. Yeah. Yes. The central line for the Forbidden City. Yeah.
Facing the cameras.
Also the central access for the city.
So that, oh, I see that through that gate. It comes all the way down. Yeah. So is this the president would walk through this way? Through this central gate, like the bigger. Right. Here?
Yes. Oh,
right. And that'd be water in there.